Hey, what's up? It's Nathan Williams with Crazy Marketing. Now this video right here is a compilation of several videos that help make up the course that you're taking right now. Now to help you navigate through everything, I've provided timestamps down below in the description, so I recommend going, check out those timestamps, watching what's relevant to you. Let's get into it. In this section of the course, we're going to be talking about the page builder, so you can build amazing, beautiful looking pages with your funnels. And in this particular video, we're going to talk about the settings of options in your page builder. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new step real quick, and I'm just going to say demo page builder, and I'll use this page in my funnel to demonstrate different features and functions of the page builder. And for my page type, I'm going to go with sales and order form because there's some additional features and elements that we can go ahead and use for the order form page type, so that way I can demonstrate those. And I'm just going to pick one at random. Doesn't really matter because I'm actually going to wipe everything out of it and build from scratch. And so, of course, to open the page builder, we click this edit page button here. And boom, well, in a second, boom, we have our page builder. And this is a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get page builder. So basically that means it's drag and drop. You can move things around, click on it to change it, etc. So it makes it user friendly. You don't need to know any code. You don't need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, anything like that to make a great looking page. Make sure it looks great on mobile, etc. You can do that all without knowing any special code. You just need to know how to use the page builder, and it's a pretty intuitive platform. These videos are going to help you uncover some little tricks and tips and things of that nature too. So you'll be a master at it in no time. I promise you that. So real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe all this stuff out. So we're working with a blank page. And then I'm going to go ahead and save it real quick just so I don't have to do that again. And so in this video, we're going to cover the settings, but just across the top real quick, we have our menu. So we can exit our page builder if we want to. We can preview our page in desktop or mobile view. So we'll do that when we discuss mobile settings and mobile options because you can make sure it looks great on both platforms, right? Then we have apps here, and this doesn't do anything. I don't know. I think they're gonna do something with it at one point in time, but it's been like this for 2 years, and I don't know. It just shows you some things, so don't know what that is for. Settings, we're coming to it in this video. Then we have pop-up options. We'll cover this in another video. We got an undo and redo button. These are kind of new features, very beneficial because there's definitely been times when I've deleted an entire section and it's been gone, but now you can undo your mistakes. So pretty good stuff. Then we got sections, rows, columns, and elements, and you use these 4 things essentially to design and develop your pages. And again, we'll have videos on this. Then we can go ahead and preview our page, so see what it looks like to somebody looking at it, not inside of the page builder, right? Because we see it in the page builder and we see it as a white screen with this green box on it. But of course, this green box is just for page builder stuff. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the training. Real quick, I have a special offer that I want to present to you where you can get a digital copy of my book as well as an audio copy. Plus, I'm giving away 20 pre-written emails that make your email writing a piece of cake. And finally, I have a 7-figure funnel. It's the first funnel that I built that generated over 7 figures for a small business, and it includes training on how to actually set up the funnel. If you're interested in that, plus several other bonuses, link in the description down below, or there'll be a link in the little box up above here. So if you're interested, check it out. Back to the training. But a regular person that lands on our page would just see a white screen. And going back to the page builder. And then of course we have save, which saves your page. All right, so now let's go into settings, and we got several options here. The first one is integrations. So if you have a form or an order form on your page here, you can go ahead and integrate with an automation tool, autoresponder tool, or one of the ClickFunnels internal tools as well. And we'll cover this when we set up forms and integration, so we'll cover this in more details, but basically you select the integration that you have going on, and then the action that you want it to perform, like add to list, remove from list, email notification, add tag, remove tag, unsubscribe contact, etc. So we do add to list, and then we'll add them to a list. I don't have any lists set up, so there's nothing to add them to, but just for sake of example, I'll just go into this process real quick just to show you kind of what it does. And again, that's for forms on your website to integrate with those. All right, up next we have SEO metadata, and here's where you can change the page title. So instead of seeing VSL plus order form, because that's not really user friendly. You might want to say like red shoes. So if you're selling red shoes, there you go. You could also write up a description for your page, and it gives you a preview of what it'll look like down here. So you can, write your little description here. Keywords, they don't really matter in this day and age, so it doesn't really matter what you put in there. Author, go ahead and put your name or your business's name. I'll throw in Nathan Williams. And then we could also add a social image. So if somebody shares this page or a link to this page on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, it'll automatically pull in the image associated with whatever you select here. So I'm just going to select a random stock image just for fun. So we got this X thing. So if somebody shared this link on Facebook, it should load in this image. Now it'll probably crop this image. It won't look exactly square like this. So be mindful of the shape and dimensions of your social images to make sure that they look good on the social platforms. But the concept's still here. You'll add the image right here. And that's it for that. Moving on down, we have tracking code. Now, in one of the previous videos, we talked about adding tracking code in the funnel level settings. And again, that adds code to all of the pages in your funnel. So if you put a pixel in your funnel level settings tracking code box, like that code is automatically across your funnel. And you're not going to see it here, but it is in your funnel. Now here you can add code to specific pages of your funnel. So you could add like a Facebook standard event tag here, or some other tracking code, or whatever code you need here, either in the header or the footer of this single page in your funnel. So if you have unique code, that's where you go ahead and add it. Moving on down, we have custom CSS. So if you're familiar with CSS at all, you could go ahead and write some up in here and have it work on your page. I'll go ahead and delete all that stuff. Settings, background. So here you can set the background, of course, of your funnel page, and you could add an image if you wanted to. Let me just select a random image just for fun. I will do one with color, add image. So there's what it looks like. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. We could change how it works: full center fit, repeat, no repeat, full 100% width, etc. Let me wipe it out so we can do the next stuff. We got background color, so you could add a background color if you want to. We could also add a video, background video if you wanted to. So if you have a video you want to display in the background, have some cool stuff going on, you could go ahead and set that up right here. So that's all pretty self-explanatory. Typography, so these are the fonts on your page. So you can set default fonts, like you can select in here and select whatever font you want. Alternatively, when you build your page and you add like headline elements, you can select the font for that particular headline as well. So whatever you set in here can be changed later on in the page. So if you want cursive or something like that on your page, you can set that on an element by element basis. Color, of course, these are the colors of your font, and just like the font style itself, you could go ahead and change the color and the link color on a section by section basis or element by element basis. So whatever you set here, just like a default, but you can change it. Themes, so they have a few font themes. So you wanted to get some stuff that looks good together, then you could go ahead and select one of those themes. Moving on down to general now. So we have a few options like on submit go to. So as we've discussed previously, the funnel, it flows down from the top. Let me back out of here real quick. So as I was saying, the funnel flows from the top, right? So somebody goes to this page, then it takes them to this page, which takes them to this page, which takes them to this page, and so on. Now, if you want to override that default setting of going like straight down the funnel like this, you can enter a new link in that on submit go to box. So if you wanted to, for whatever reason, omit your welcome and pre-sale page and send people straight to the order form page, you could go ahead and throw your order form link right into your on submit go to box, and it would send them straight to the order form. So that could be a great way to redirect people through your funnel. So let's set that up kind of real quick just for fun. So settings, general, and I'll throw this in here. So now if we had a form on this page and we hit submit, it would take us to our order form page. Now digital asset, I don't know what this does. I've been a member of ClickFunnels for over 3 years, and I I have no idea what this does, so I'm sorry I can't help you here. Affiliate badge, this is that little badge that's in the bottom right-hand corner of your pages. I recommended you turn it off by default by going under your account settings, unless you want to advertise ClickFunnels, of course, in which case you probably want to turn it on. But if you're not advertising ClickFunnels, I recommend turning it off. So you can turn it on and off on a page-by-page basis right here under the general settings, so you could do that. Then finally, we have search engines, so you can have these pages display in search engines if you want to. So typically I'll have, squeeze pages, order form pages, etc. I'll let search engines be able to find those and list them out. Whereas like an OTO page or order confirmation page, I'll typically hide those from search engines because I don't need somebody randomly showing up in the middle of my funnel, right? So you don't want the search engines to show those internal pages, but one of your forward-facing pages, you probably want search engines to be able to find it. And then finally, if you design a really pretty page that you like and you probably want to use again and again and again, you can go ahead and save the page as a template. And I'll just say blank template and create the template. And now we have a template that we could go ahead and import and use for building other funnels. And that way you don't have to rebuild things from scratch like every time. And that's really it for the settings function in the page builder. All right, so there are 4 things you use to construct pages in ClickFunnels. They are sections, rows, columns, and elements. And it basically goes from largest to smallest. So sections are the biggest area. Then inside of sections, you have rows. Then inside of rows, you have columns. And then inside of columns, you have elements. And elements are things like fonts, forms, countdowns, etc. Things that you use to design. And in this particular video, we're going to discuss the sections, rows, and columns. So let's start with the sections because you got to have a section before you can put a row inside of it. So we can add a section by coming up here and do add section, or we could just come on down to the page builder and we see a green box here that says add new section. And so we'll click it real quick. And it gives us a couple options. So we could do full width, wide, medium, and small. I'm just going to go ahead and do wide real quick. So click that option. And now as I hover over my page, we see that I have a green box that highlights a section. And inside that green box, we have a blue box that signals a row or signifies a row. So if I want to add a row in my section, I just click on it. And now I have some options for my rows. So 1 column, 2 column, 3, 4, 5, 6, left sidebar, right sidebar. So let's just say I just want a 2 column row. There we go, just like that. I now have a section, and inside my section I have a 2 column row. So I have columns inside my row, and you can see the columns through the orange boxes here. And if I click on one of these, I could go ahead and add elements. I'm going to discuss elements in several of these follow-on videos, so we're not going to get into it right here because there's more stuff to talk about sections, rows, and columns first. All right, so as you hover over the sections or the rows, you see there's some options that pop up, and we're going to go ahead and investigate them. So settings is the first one, and you see right here we have a bunch of different options to customize our section. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Top margin, brings things down. We could add a background image if we wanted to. I'll just pick one real quick to add it. So there we go. We have a background image in our section, and we could go ahead and stretch it, parallax, etc., all that type of cool stuff. Let me delete it real quick. I'm not going to go through all of these because we'd be here for a little while, but I'll cover some of the big points. Section width, so if you wanted to change the width of the section, you could go ahead and do that easily here. Stickiness, so if you wanted to stick on the top or the bottom on scroll or on load, you could go ahead and do that. Colors, of course, self-explanatory. We could change the color of our section pretty easily, so there you go. You can see how the width changed now that we have some color on it. So I'll go with medium there. Padding, so this is inside the section, whereas margin's outside the section. So margin moves the whole section down versus padding, it basically extends the section, makes the section itself larger, just moves the content down within the section. All right, moving over, we have the advanced tab, and so some more options here. We could make our radius a little bit rounder. We could pick where we want to apply the edges. Let me go ahead and add some margin now, so we got some distance, and we could go ahead and add a border if we want to, or we could do a top only border, solid, size, 10 pixels, color, we'll go with white, and drop shadow, we want a 40% drop shadow, and Then we have a few advanced CSS options like float and left and all that other stuff. So you can mess with that if you want to. Then we have animation, so we can delay when it shows up if we want to. So if we want to keep this section hidden until a certain key moment, then you could go ahead and set that up right here. And then I want to go back to the settings tab real quick because we have a few other options down here at the bottom. So right now this is set up to display on all devices, so it's going to show up on mobile and desktop. If we wanted it to be mobile only, I'm going to have another video on mobile optimization and customization later on. We could go ahead and select this option, or desktop only. We could use this option. We could also hide it, so there could be reasons to hide sections, rows, columns, elements, etc. And you can make them appear if somebody presses a button or a timer goes off or something like that. Again, I'll have more training on those fancy things, making things disappear or reappear and so on later on. If you do make something disappear and you're like, where the heck did it go? You can come back up here and go to your section, manage, and then you'll see that it's hidden, and now you can unhide it. And there you go, you see it again. So that can be handy because I've definitely lost some things before. There's also CSS info, so you could go ahead and rename this section. So you might want to call it like header or something like that so you can easily identify it. And then there's the CSS ID selector. So if you're familiar with CSS, you could go ahead and use this information to, pinpoint this particular section. And you could also delete this section if you want to. Of course, I'm not going to do that right now because we're demonstrating it. But those are a lot of the options within the sections. Now, if we come back in here, we also have the option to clone a section. So there you go, clone, pretty simple, self-explanatory. Also, we could save sections. So if we develop a section that we might want to use on another page, we could go ahead and save it for later. So save, and say we want this to be our header, and save section. So now, if we're building on another page, we could go ahead and import our header section and have it ready to go. So that can definitely be handy. Also, we can delete it here as well. So there we go, delete. And so those are the options for sections. Now rows have pretty much the same exact options here. We got settings, clone, save, delete, same concept. Same options in here as before. So you could go ahead and change the background, change the width, change the padding, yada yada. Self-explanatory, you just play around with it to get the look and feel you want. Again, you don't need to know any code or anything, so you just need to learn how to use ClickFunnels and you'll be good to go. So same options basically as the sections themselves. Then we have columns, and in order to make changes to columns, you'll notice when you hover over it, you don't get like an orange box with settings, clone, save, etc. You only have the option to add an element. But if you want to change the column, you come up here to columns, and now you see you have your columns here, and hopefully you can see those blue boxes that are essentially highlighting which column I'm on. Hopefully you see that. And then if you want to make a change to it, you just click on it, and then same type of options here. You could go ahead and make it pretty or not pretty or whatever you want to go ahead and do. Let's see, background white. So yeah, you just play around with it. Again, self-explanatory stuff here. So that's how you could go ahead and customize your columns too, which again is to go up here and select your columns to edit. And that's it for this video. We covered the sections, rows, and columns and how to go ahead and change those around. In the next video, we're going to get into some of these elements. In this video, we're going to cover some of the elements that are available within ClickFunnels. So let's get straight into it. So elements, add elements. Alternatively, you could hover inside of a column and add a new element if you want to do it that way. Now, there's a bunch of different elements to choose from, and depending on the page type that you've selected, like this is an order form page type, I have special order elements that are only available on the order form page type. So that's why it's critical to select the correct page type, otherwise you're not going to have the right elements. So basically, if you want to collect credit card information or payment information, order bump, two-step order summary, liberate and educate, not sure what that is, order select with inventory, two-step order with inventory. And so basically if you want to collect money and sell something, you need these elements to do it. Alternatively, if you have a squeeze page or opt-in page type, then it's going to have opt-in form information. If you have a webinar page type, it's going to have webinar elements. If you have a membership page type, it's going to have membership elements and so on. So That's why you select the correct page type, so that way you have access to the correct elements. All right, enough of that. So those are some of the elements, and we'll go through some of this order stuff later on because you probably want to take some money. All right, so here's some of the basic ones we got. We got text elements, so we got headline, subheadline, paragraph, bulleted list. We got media elements like image, image pop-up, video, video pop-up, audio player. We got form elements, so buttons, Facebook opt-ins, input, select box, text area, checkbox headline. Then we got advanced form elements like SMS sign up, billing address, shipping address, survey. We got countdowns. We got content blocks, so pretty looking things basically. And then we have some miscellaneous elements. In particular, we have custom JavaScript or HTML. So if you want to throw some custom code on your page, you could do that using this element here. All right, so let's go back to some of the popular ones like headline. So to use a element, you just grab it and drag it where you want it to go. So we want it right here. And then if we hover over it, we see we have options similar to sections and rows. So we could move it. So you can easily drag it. Maybe, there we go. So drag it from one area of your page to another. We got settings, which I'll come back to in just a second. We have clone, so obviously that just clones the element. And then we can go ahead and delete the element. So there we go. So let's go into the settings here. Now all elements have their own unique settings basically. So you can click on that gear icon and pop open this menu and then see a bunch of different options you could go ahead and adjust. And they're pretty self-explanatory. You can change the font if you want to. So that's where I was talking about. You can pick a custom font. You don't have to use like the page default font. So let's do cursive type thing. We have mobile options. Again, I'm going to have a video on mobile later on, but this is something that we could adjust. We got text color, so we could change that. Bold color, so if we want a different bold color, background color, icon color, etc. Come over to advanced. We have a bunch of different options in here we could go ahead and manipulate and play with. And there's also the animation, so we could delay when it's displayed and so on. And again, we have these options down here as well. So quite similar to the concept of sections and rows and columns and making those pretty and whatnot. If we want to go ahead and edit the text, we just click into it, and we got some options here too. So we can click into it and write, and that's really hard to read, so I'm sorry for that, but I think you understand the concept. We could bold it or unbold it, italicize, underline, strike through, left align, center align, right align. We could go ahead and add links if we want to, so click on it, and we could go to crazyimarketing.com. We could go ahead and make it a pop-up, open in a new tab basically, or new window, or not. We could change the color of our link if we want to, and so on. And we'll close out of there. So there we go. We have some font or text on our page, which is ugly, hard to read. But anyway, if we want to add another element, again, we can come up here, add element, or we can come over here to this plus button, hit add new element, and we can go ahead and add something else. Let's add an image real quick. So here's image, and let's go ahead and you see we have a bunch of different options as well in here. So we can go ahead and select our image. I'm going to go ahead and use our Pixabay. Let's go with the dog. Actually, let's go with shoe, because we're selling red shoes or something like that. So anyway, these are white shoes, obviously, but we'll go ahead and throw them in there and add the image. So we got some shoes on our page, and we could go ahead and add alt text, red shoes. We could change the size of our image, add a link to our image, and there's a couple different options that we could go ahead and choose. So we could do open pop-up. So basically, if somebody clicked on this image, it'd open a pop-up. Now we haven't configured any pop-ups yet, but if we had a pop-up configured, it'd pop up the pop-up. If we had a form on our page, we could set our image to submit the form, or we could go to the next URL, so next URL in our funnel, or we could close the pop-up, or yes link or no link, and these are for OTO pages, so not really relevant here, but we see all the different options. Also, of course, we could go ahead and delete that # sign or hashtag out of there and just link it ourselves if we want to. So we could link it to imarketing.com. All right, link target, so normal, new tab, lazy loading, true, false, whatever, theme. So if you want to put a theme around your image, you can just play with that. You could, do some other cool stuff if you want to. I'm just clicking options, I'm not even reading them. So you get the gist of it, right? So that's image. One more just for fun. We'll do a bulleted list. So add a bulleted list. Go ahead and drag it over here. Maybe not. There we go. And let's change the color of it, white, and change the icon color to yellow. And let's go ahead and make some space in here. And let's make the font bigger. And wow, that is so pretty. Also, I didn't point this out in the sections, rows, columns video, but you can adjust your rows and your columns, like their widths and everything, just by dragging the middle here. So if you want to go ahead and resize things, you can easily do that. And I think that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you a few basic elements and kind of how they worked and how you add them. We're going to add some more sophisticated elements and tactics and things of that nature with follow-on videos, but I just wanted to get you an overview of elements before we get down into the nitty-gritty details. Oh, and sorry, real quick, if there's any elements that you don't quite understand how they work or anything like that, and I don't have another video on them, please let me know. I will definitely shoot another video and explain how it works. I have no issues doing that. I want to make sure you understand the elements, so if you have any questions, never hesitate to ask. In this video, I'm going to talk about the two-step order form. It's a very popular element because two-step order forms tend to work very well for sales. So to add it, again, you need to make sure that you have an order form page type. Otherwise, you're not going to have this element available to you. But we're going to add elements, and then we have two-step order form right here. Grab it, and I'll just drag it and put it right here on the left-hand side. And so here it is. You've probably seen them before if you've purchase any of Russell Brunson's books or anything like that. He's got the two-step order forms everywhere, and people use them all over the place. So you definitely probably seen it at some point in your life. And so to edit it, just like anything else, we hit this gear icon, and then we can go ahead and make some changes to it. Again, we got margin, self-explanatory, and then we have preview steps. So right now we're previewing step 1 of our two-step order form, right? We're under this step. But if we want to preview what step 2 looks like, we click this, and it brings us over to step 2. So you see that there's some different things going on here, like we have an order bump and so on. So we have that. We can switch between the two steps like this. And then we also have options to edit step 1 or step 2. So if you want to do step 1 settings, you hit this drop down and it shows you all the step 1 settings. And then if you want to show step 2 settings, you come down here and you select the settings here. So it's not as intuitive as some of the other element settings. Like you'd have more clicking to do for some reason. But let's say we want to do some stuff on step 1 here. We could change the name of it from shipping to address, or where to ship book. Maybe we'll delete that. We have full name. We could go ahead and change the text all over the place. Pretty simple, self-explanatory once you know how to navigate between the different steps. And change the button color. I'll make it black because that's what people want to click. And then of course step 2, we can come over and show step 2 settings, and then you probably want to preview step 2 while you're editing step 2, so we'll change that. And here we can change this info. It's pretty simple to understand. No big challenges, I don't think. All right, and then moving on to themes. So there's no themes. There hasn't ever been any themes, even though it's been out for like 3 years. So I don't know why they have this option. But we do have this advanced option here. So you'll see there's some toggles here, like phone number, shipping, order bump, etc. And so these are kind of tricky. Like people ask questions about these 3 things all the time, like how do I turn this on or off? And so let's go to step 1 real quick, and we see it automatically has the phone number in there. But if you don't want the phone number, you come over here to advanced and you hide the phone number option. So now you're not taking in somebody's phone number. Same concept with shipping here. So if you don't need their shipping information, you could go ahead and just have basically an opt-in here, collect their name and email and so on. And then one of the big ones a lot of people miss is this order bump option because they didn't set up an order bump product. So they don't need to show the order bump, but the order bump's automatically showing by default. So if we come over here, you see that there's an order bump on here, but if you don't have the order bump product set up, you're gonna have issues. So you're gonna need to turn this thing off if you don't have an order bump product. So come over here and hide the order bump, so that way you're not having issues with your form. So just wanna point that out. This is where you go to get that off of your form. Again, a lot of people seem to have issues with it because it is hidden. Like you wouldn't expect to come in here and go to advanced and styles and then you have your order bump option. So this is where you go to turn off your order bump. Now, one of the major benefits of this two-step order form is that when somebody fills out step 1 here, and then they hit this go to step 2 button, it's going to automatically save their contact information. So right now we're just collecting name and email, but if we had their phone number, shipping information, like you could save all that information when they go to step 2 of your two-step order form. And then you could use that information for like cart abandonment and follow-up and all that type of stuff, like if they don't buy the product or service. And you do that through the integration. So whatever you set up as your integration here is what's going to happen, where your information is going to go when they hit that button here. So that's probably one of the most powerful features of the two-step order form, is you can capture that contact information even if the person doesn't buy, and then that way you can follow up with them later on with a cart abandonment or something to that effect. And that is it for the two-step order forms. In this video, we're going to talk about setting up custom forms in ClickFunnels. Now, you can build custom forms on order form pages, so you can build basically custom order forms, or you could also build custom forms on squeeze or opt-in pages where you're collecting contact information. So you could use forms on both of those page types, and I don't know of any other page types that you build forms on. I think it's just order forms and squeeze pages. So we're going to build an order form over here. Let's go ahead and delete our two-step order form so we don't confuse things, because you probably only want one order form on a page. And let me go ahead and let's just get started. So elements, add element, and come on down here to form options. So we got a bunch of different options. We got input, select box, text area, checkbox, headline, SMX, sign up, billing address, shipping address, survey. So a lot of different options to choose from. We're not going to do them all right now, but we'll cover a few of them. So input, of course, is like one of the standard forms or fields. And so we can go ahead and set input type over here. You see we have a few standard fields, and if you'll want to use the standard fields as much as possible, and then there is custom types as well. So if there's something not here, you could go ahead and create a custom type, and we'll do that in a minute. But let's just say we want full name. So enter your full name, and then we can make it required or not required. We'll go with required, and then we can change the font size, change font family, change mobile size, go to themes. You could go ahead and pick a different theme if you want to, make it match your style or whatever it is. So we got this going on. We got some advanced settings, so we could go ahead and change stuff up a little more if we want to, customize it to suit our needs. Could add an icon if we want to as well. And it's not showing up for some reason. I wonder if it's because of this. Okay, yeah, there we go. So you got oh, there it goes. So I don't know why it took a minute to show up, but anyway, there we go. We got icon now, animation, same type of options as before. So there's our name field. We can go ahead, duplicate it real quick. Maybe you want to change the top margin, bring it up. Let's go ahead and set up an email. Enter your email address. We can make it emails required, because that's how ClickFunnels associates accounts, is based off the email address. So that's a required field no matter what. You can change font size, all same options. So there's email. Let's say we want to do a custom field. So we'll clone this real quick. Actually, let me come back over here and change my icon real quick to email icon. Okay. And if we got a custom field, we can come on down here and do custom type. And so we could say like favorite color. And actually, right here, we wanted to go ahead and do a one word. So basically what I'm saying is remove the spaces. So this is like a field title. Your visitor is not going to see this right here. This is for like ClickFunnels to track things, and also you could send this information to another tool using Zapier. I'll have another video on how to do that later on, how to send custom information to a marketing automation tool or CRM or somewhere else. So we'll cover that later on, but you want your custom type to be one word. It could be multiple words, but no spaces, dashes, funky characters, anything like that. So, and then we say, what is your favorite color? Here, you can go ahead and make it required. And let's go ahead and remove the little icon real quick. So there's a few fields right there. Let's add another option. Let's do a drop down real quick, or a select box, so we can check that out. And we pop this open here. We got a few different options. So we got all countries, all United States. So we got a few few options, so that way we have you don't have to type in all the countries if you're trying to get country information or something to that effect. Also, we could do custom options, so we could say shoe size, and then small, and small, and medium, and medium, and large, and large. Again, same options, required, not required, and so on. So we have a drop down here with custom information. Let me come back up here real quick. There's something I wanted to point out on input type. So you see that we got full name, first name, last name, email address, phone number, and then we have address information. So address, city, state, zip, country, or state, country, zip, city. I don't know what I said, but we have, this is billing information. This top piece is billing information versus right here is shipping information. So if you're gonna have both fields on your order form, make sure that you have an address field for billing and an address field for shipping, right? So I just want to point that out real quick, that these are two different options. One's billing, one's shipping. So make sure that you have that straight if you're creating your form with these fields. All right, so moving on, we got to have an option for them to enter their credit card information, right? Because we have order form, so we'll select the credit card field, and I'm just going to leave it as the default setting for now. Maybe I'll drag it up a little bit, and maybe we need to let them pick out their product as well. So we can do order select, so they can select their product. We'll put this at the top so they can select their product, fill out their information, or maybe I'll put it down here. So here you can see it's easy to drag and drop things and redesign your form, so that's handy. You can really customize your order form. And then of course we need a button to go ahead and submit the form. So let's come down here to button and click on it. And what we want to do is set an action. And on this one, we're going to go ahead and submit order or submit form. So of course, we're submitting order because we're on an order form page type, but if we were on a squeeze page type, then we'd go ahead and submit the form and capture the email address, their contact information. But buttons can also be used to open a pop-up, go to a website URL, go to the next step in the funnel, or scroll up or down to specific pages, or show and hide different portions of a page. So there's some other fancy fun stuff you could do with buttons as well, but we're using it for submitting here. And then of course you can go ahead and customize it, so order product and so on. So of course you guys can mess with this as much as to your heart's content to make it suit your needs, right? A lot of different options. I think you understand that by now. And so there we go. We've gone ahead and created a custom order form on our product or our order form page. And again, you could create forms on opt-in or squeeze pages as well, and that's for collecting contact information. So you wouldn't take in credit card information, things of that nature on an opt-in page, right? And so that is it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to set up custom forms. In this video, I'm going to talk about OTO and downsell pages. Basically, if you know how to set up an OTO page, you also know how to set up a downsell page. Same concepts apply. So if we come down to our OTO page, we have a yes button. So yes, I want to buy this extra product, one-click upsell. And then we also have to give the individual a no option so that they can say no to your one-click upsell, right? And if they say no, they move on to your downsell or to the next page in your funnel if you don't have a downsell page. And then if they say yes, then they would skip over your downsell page if you had one and go to the next page in your funnel. So let's go ahead and set these buttons up. So first things first, let's do the no link. So if we click down here and we click this little pencil option, we see that we have a pound or hashtag sign, and then it says no hyphen link. So that's how you go ahead and apply a no link to some text. And ClickFunnels sees this here, and it knows that if they click it, that means no. Okay, so hashtag or pound sign no hyphen link is a no link. Conversely, we could go ahead and duplicate this button here, and you can make a button be a no link as well. So you come here and you select no link, don't buy upsell, and then of course you'd want to change the button and everything, like no, and so on. So of course you'd customize it, and you see there's a little black box here that tells you that this button here is the no link for the OTO, so that way you know that you set it up correctly. And then, so we have our yes link as well, and we come up to set action, and we have no product set up currently. So we need to go ahead and set this up, set up a product real quick, so that way we have something for them to say yes to. So we'll come back out here and set up a OTO product real quick, just real basic details. Come up to the products tab, add a product, and select our payment gateway, one-time payment, save and next. And then this will be OTO1 product, and we'll just say it's $10. And I don't think we need any other information. Let's do save and next and see if it lets us go. You cannot create product variations. Okay, that's fine. Save and next, save and next. I probably do save and close. Save and close. All right, cool. Let's do one more product just for fun. Add a product. And this one, save and next. So OTO2 product. And we'll go ahead and do $15 on this one. Come down here, save and next. And I'll just do save and close. So now I should have 2 products. So I'll come back to my page. And come down to my yes button, go ahead and add it, or click on it, set action, and now you see I can choose between 2 different products here. So I got one click upsell OTO1 product or OTO2 product. So I'll do OTO1 product for this button, and I could go ahead and make another button. So set action, this is my OTO2 product, and of course I changed the language on the buttons, and I'd probably put them side by side or whatever, but as you can see, these little black boxes here tell us what the button does. So yes link for OTO, yes link 2 for OTO, so this is product 2 basically, and then we got a no link button here, and then we also have a no link, and we did that with the # or hashtag no hyphen link link. And so that's how you go ahead and establish your buttons on your OTO pages as well as your downsell pages. So same concept would apply. You set up your buttons and your links, and same yes links, no links, etc. on a downsell page as well. And that is it for this video. In this video, we're going to talk about the pop-up form feature. And so let's say that I'm running a split test here on my squeeze page, and I got variation A and variation B, and I want to see what works better, like an embedded or on the page opt-in form versus a click button pop-up button. Like that'll be my split test. So I'll edit variation B real quick, and we'll add an opt-in form to a pop-up. So we got variation A, which looks like this, and I'm going to convert this one into a pop-up form. So to do it, we come up here to pop-up, and we can do show pop-up, and we see that we have a little page builder essentially right here where we can go ahead and construct our pop-up. So we'll do add a new row, 1 column row, and then I could go ahead and add headline and enter your contact info below. And then I want to go ahead and add my fields in here. So where are they? Input field. So you got full name, so your name, and we want to make sure it looks just like the other one. I mean, we would in real life. I'm going to go kind of quick here because I don't think you need to see all the nitty-gritty details. Name, and then we got an email field, and so we'll set that as email address and your email, and we'll change the icon real quick. Email, and then we need a button, of course, to submit it. So let's do button and get guide, and we got to go ahead and set the action. We're going to have it submit the order or submit the form in this particular case because this is a squeeze page. So when we click that button, it'll submit this form on our pop-up field. Let's go ahead and close it real quick, and then we'll go ahead and delete this out of here, delete this out of here, and delete this out of here. And so now I want to go ahead and make this button pop up the opt-in form. So set action, and then open pop-up here. And then I'm going to come down here. I got another button here. I want this one to also go to open the pop-up. That's my objective here. And then let me go to settings real quick. So here's my settings for my pop-up. I could go ahead and change some things. So I got my top margin. I could do a background image, trigger on exit. So I can also pop it up when the user tries to exit. So on a desktop device, if their cursor goes out of our window, then we assume the person's going to exit the page. So we could pop up a pop-up there. We could change the width of our pop-up window. We can change our backdrop if we want to. We make it like bright and whatever. We could fade it in a little bit. We got paddings, we got corners, edges, borders, and a whole bunch of other stuff we could go ahead and adjust to our liking. All right, so those are some of the settings. Of course, we would have to go in here and set up our integration. Again, I'm gonna have another video on integrations and connecting that to an automation tool, but we'd have to do that to our form. But we have it set up. So let's go ahead and save it real quick and go ahead and preview it. So now when I click one of these buttons, it pops up my opt-in form, and I could go ahead and fill it out and submit it. And so that's essentially how that works. If I scroll off my screen, it should pop up for that exit intent, and boom, that worked. So that's pretty cool, right? Also for fun, let's go ahead and make this image also pop up the form. So we got the # or hashtag, and we can do open pop-up here and save it and preview it. So now if they click the image too, it also pops up the opt-in form. So just another little trick to get that pop-up to pop up. And that is it for this video. I just wanted to show you this pop-up feature real quick. In this video, we're going to talk about the mobile settings that ClickFunnels gives us in the page builder here. And basically it allows us to make sure our pages look great on both desktop and mobile devices. And they give us a lot of options for adjusting sections, rows, columns, elements, and how they look on the different devices. Now, of course, it's important that your website looks good on multiple devices because most of the traffic these days is mobile. So you want to make sure it looks good on mobile. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on conversions, obviously. So in the top left corner, we can switch between the different views. So we're in desktop view, so this is essentially what it would look like on a desktop device. And then we have mobile view, and this is essentially what it would look like on a mobile device. And so, of course, you want to make sure it looks good, and if it doesn't look good, you want to go ahead and adjust it. And we're going to cover some of those settings in this video here. So certain elements have certain mobile settings. For example, right here, if we click on the headline element, we see there's an option for mobile size. And we could go ahead and adjust our mobile size here. So if we wanted 30 pixels or we think that's too big, we could go ahead and shrink it, or we could go ahead and make it really big. And it doesn't impact what's happening over here on the desktop side. So we can have a custom font per device. So that's pretty cool stuff, right? And I'll click through a couple other elements, see if they have mobile settings. So I don't think video has any mobile settings. I don't think this two-step order form has any mobile settings. We'll come on down here. I don't think this has any mobile settings. Let's go down. And here, these buttons have mobile settings, I know. So see buttons here, so we could go ahead and make sure that the buttons look good on mobile so they're not all stretched out crazy big and stuff. So you can adjust the font size here, or the subtext size, or the mobile subtext size, I'm sorry. It's this one here for the mobile. It says mobile, see, makes sense. So certain elements have certain mobile settings that you could go ahead and adjust so it looks great on multiple devices. And then each section, row, and column also has mobile options essentially. So let's come up here and highlight this section. And let's go ahead and click on the gear icon here. So right here we could switch out mobile. So this section only shows on mobile devices, or it only shows on desktop devices. So we can show entire sections or not based off of the device. And so sometimes what you might need to do is like clone a section. Like, so you have an entire section cloned on your website, and you'll make one for desktop devices, and then you'll make the other one down here for mobile devices only. And then you'll make all sorts of changes in here to ensure it looks great on a mobile device. Oh, let me make sure that I get the right switch. And let's say like on a mobile device, you want the order form above the video for some reason. So you want it to look like this on a mobile device where it goes headline, subheadline, order form, versus on a desktop, you want it, side by side. So that's how you could go ahead and change like an entire section based off of the device type, is by cloning it and then having a separate desktop section and a separate mobile section, and then you can get all sorts of crazy creative with how your website looks. And the same settings exist for like rows, so you could show only on mobile or only on desktop or all devices. And same thing with columns. You come up here to adjust columns, and then we could click on this column here, and then there should be a mobile option somewhere. There we go. So for some reason it was hiding, but we could go ahead and, pick our devices to make sure that it's going to look great. And then of course you could go back and preview here. You could go ahead and save it real quick, preview it on your mobile device and make sure it actually looks like you think it's going to look, and so on. So that is how you can take advantage of the mobile settings options inside of the ClickFunnels Page Builder. In this video, we're going to talk about the hide and show function inside of ClickFunnels Page Builder, and you can do a lot of fancy stuff with this, like you can hide and show sections, rows, columns, elements when somebody clicks on a button or does some sort of action like that. So if you understand this concept, you can do some cool stuff with it. Like oftentimes I see it where somebody will have an order form pop up when somebody presses like the buy now button. It'll pop up it'll display the order form section basically. So then the person can go order their product. But for our simple example, we're just going to make this watch image appear when they press this button here. And if you understand this concept, you could apply it to, sections, rows, columns, etc., and make it work. So first things first, I want to go ahead and rename my image here so I can more easily identify it. So to do it, I come over here, hit the CSS info, and I'll probably just call it watch, so that way I can see it real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and adjust my button. So I'll click this button here, and I want to go ahead and set an action, and I want to go ahead and hide/show action, and I want to go ahead and show the watch. Now the watch is already showing, but we'll hide it in a second. So then we scroll through this long list, and I wish I had a better way to identify things in here, because you see there's a lot of stuff you could go ahead and show and hide. Like you got all these elements, and you got columns and rows and all that other stuff. But fortunately, it does put a little box, so now I know that I'm on my image, so I'm selecting the right one. So I'll click this option here. So I want to show that image. And of course, you could select more options if you wanted to. You could also hide stuff simultaneously, so you could basically, at the click of a button, change your entire page around if you wanted to. You get really fancy and creative with it. All right, so anyway, now when somebody clicks this button, it's going to show this watch. The watch is already showing, so we're going to hide it. So come up here to the gear icon, and we're going to hide it real quick. So now the watch is gone. If you want to bring the watch back permanently, you just come up here to Elements, Manage, and you can scroll on down, and we see our watch is hidden, and so we could unhide it or hide it here. Same thing with sections, rows, and columns. You come up here to Manage, and if you hid something and you didn't mean to, you could bring it back coming up in here. So I just wanted to point that out real quick, because I've hidden things before and been like, where the heck is that thing? And it's like, oh, it's hidden, and I got to come up here and manage and so on. So now, when we click this button, it should make the watch appear. So let me go ahead and save my page real quick. And then let me preview it. And we'll scroll on down after this video. Okay, video. All right, so the watch isn't there. That's a good sign. Now, hopefully it pops up when I click the button, and it did. So that is super awesome, right? So hopefully you can see how the show and hide feature or functionality works. And then hopefully you could, once you wrap your head around it, you can see how you could use it to make sections, rows, columns appear and disappear at clicks of buttons, and you get really pretty creative and fancy with this thing. And that is it for this video. All right, in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about saving pages as templates, and we're also going to talk about how to save sections and rows for use later on. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to cover is saving a page as a template. So let's say you've gone ahead and you've designed a page and you really like it a lot, and you probably want to use it elsewhere in your ClickFunnels account. So what we're going to go ahead and do is navigate to your page, edit your page, so you can open it in your page builder. And what you want to do is go to Settings up here and General, and then we see the Save Page as Template button. Go ahead and click that. And now there's something to note here, and it's a key thing to note, and they should make this more obvious and like identify it, but I'll point it out here so you know. So saving this page as a template will turn this page into a template. Okay, kind of redundant. What does that mean? Well, it means every change to this page afterwards will update the template. So what that means is when you save this template here, it becomes a template and you can use it in other funnels. But then if you come back to this page right here and you make changes to it, like maybe you change the order form or you delete the image or you delete something on this page, well, then your template itself is going to be updated. So that's just something to be aware of. Like, this is your base template now. So whatever you do here is going to modify your template for use later on. So that's just something to be aware of, that this thing, if you change it, it changes your template. Okay, just point that out there real quick. And anyway, let's go ahead and save it as a template, and we'll see how it functions. So this will be SP template, and we'll go ahead and create template. And now we're brought over to our manage custom templates area, which is in our account and assets and page templates, and here we go. So we got a couple templates already we created, but to use it then we just go over to your funnel, and I don't know, we'll pop open this one just for the sake of example. We'll do add a new step, and we'll do SP template and create funnel step. And then we need to select the correct page type as your template. So in our case, it's an order form page type. So we select that, and we see our custom templates up here. So we can go ahead and select SP template now, and it'll import our template for that page. And boom, just like that, we have, you know, our super awesome sales page slash order form template that we could go ahead and build off of. So pretty nifty stuff, right? All right, so that's templates. Just like that. Now you can also save sections and rows as well for use later on, and this can be very beneficial. So let's say you make a section, like for example this header section area real quick, or oftentimes like you might make like a logo, like a header section where you have like a logo, maybe a navigation menu, etc. That's a common section to have. Or maybe a footer section where you have like link to your contact us page, copyright information, etc. So you might have a header section saved, a footer section saved, and then some other sections you use a lot saved, like maybe money back guarantee section, and so on. So we're going to talk about how to save that now. So we come over here, and let's say we want to save this order form section, and we'll just say save, and save as template, and order form section, and save section. So that was easy enough, right? If we want to go ahead and deploy it, I think it's deploy it somewhere, we can go to like add new section here, and we go to my sections, and we see we have a couple different options. So there's my order form section that I just saved. Now, one thing to note is I have a unique element in here. I have this two-step order form element, which is unique to the order form page type. So if I try and stick this section on a opt-in page, like there's going to be an issue. So I want to point that out, and we'll go test it real quick so we can see what happens when you use a section where you're not allowed to use a section. So anyway, we come in here, add new section, my sections, we can hit it, and boom, just like that, we've put our section on this page. And hopefully you can see how that could be beneficial. Like if you wanted to move something over, you could easily move something over. We also have that header section. I don't know what's in there. Let's see what's in this header section. Oh, so I just saved something silly looking, but let's say, this is our header and we want it on every page of our funnel. I could easily, just drop it in there by selecting my section. So pretty simple concept. But it's nifty, and I wanted to show it to you. Also, there are some pre-built sections. I might as well point that out while we're in here. So if we come to add section, we could go to, there's actions. So here's sections that ClickFunnels already pre-designed. So maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I was actually going to build a thing like this. And so here we go. We can drop it in here. Now this thing will probably cause issues as well because this is a opt-in on an order form page, so this could cause some issues. So it's something to be mindful of. If you have elements that are unique to certain page types and you drop that section into the wrong page type, like stuff will break. So just be mindful when you're messing around with sections. But yeah, they have several pre-built ones in here. So you could go ahead and check out. So here's some content ones as well. Pretty nifty stuff, right? So maybe save you a few minutes, give you some ideas, and so on. So that's sections. The same exact concept exists with rows. So you're like, oh, you know what? This row is super awesome. I love it. I might want to put it on a different page of my funnel. And so we'll just come up here to save. And we'll say like headline row. Save row. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and back out of here and go to a different page so we can kind of mess around with it. So let me do add a new page, and we'll just do blank. Create funnel step, and I'm just going to select this template right here, and I'll go ahead and edit the page real quick. And note this is a opt-in or a squeeze page template, so some stuff might break when I drop these pre-built sections in here, or these built sections. All right, so we got this blank page now, and let's go ahead and add a section. My sections. I want to add my order form section in here. and boom, dropped that in there. And then maybe I'll want to add my row, add a row, my rows, and my headline row. I'll drop that in there too. Hope it didn't work that time. Try again. All right, there we go. So got it duplicated. So that's cool. All right, so anyway, we go ahead and preview it real quick. And it seems to load, you know, the two-step order form, but we would wind up having issues because I can't set up a product on this form, on this page type, right? So again, I think I've hit this point home. Be careful with those elements that are unique to different page types when you're saving them in your sections, because they could break other things. But anyway, I think you understand the concept and you see now how you could save sections, how you could save rows, and also, of course, how you could save entire pages as templates. And that's it for this video. I just wanted to cover those 3 things because they can make your life easier because you don't have to duplicate your efforts. You just save it and deploy it in the new funnel or the new page. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed the training. Now I have a quick special offer for you. So if you want a digital copy as well as an audio copy of my book here, as well as 20 pre-written emails to make your email copywriting a piece of cake. And I also have a 7-figure funnel. It's the first funnel that I built that generated over 7 figures of revenue for a small business. And the funnel includes a course on how to set it up and also how to actually sell that funnel to small businesses. So if you're interested in starting a digital marketing agency, that course and that funnel are an ideal option for you. And there's a bunch of other benefits and stuff, bonuses and stuff. Anyway, link in the description down below, or there's going to be a little button probably up here in the video if you're interested in checking it out. Yeah, just check it out if you're interested. And other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the day.